Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kathlena Love and I'm a holistic nutritionist. I post all kinds of nutrition related videos, so if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to subscribe. In today's video, we are going to be talking about 5 self-care acts that you should be doing if you experience anxiety. Before we jump into the video, I want to make sure that I'm pointing out that this video is just meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed mental health professional. These are just some tools that I've gathered in my own personal journey with mental health and anxiety. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the video. So the first thing on my list is to create and maintain a consistent routine. Anxiety feeds off of chaos and uncertainty. So when we maintain a consistent routine, it helps to eliminate that uncertainty. You know what you need to do when you need to do it. Personally, I've also found that it provides me with a sense of control and gives me motivation and a sense of accomplishment. Routines are going to look different for every person. If you're wanting to incorporate a new routine, I usually recommend starting with the morning. Try to focus on waking up at the same time every day. Consider maybe avoiding being on your phone or computer or screen in general for the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. Doing a simple task every day like making your bed or having a quiet cup of coffee to yourself or practicing gratitude before turning to your phone can really help start your day in a grounded way. When our first actions of the day are present and grounded, it's more likely to carry throughout the rest of the day. So the second item on my list is movement. We have many studies showing the positive impact that exercise plays in regard to mental health. Whether you choose walking, weights, yoga, Pilates, gardening, exercise helps to reduce inflammation and stress hormones while also increasing happy hormones like endorphins. As the weather is getting warmer, I have really been enjoying having my movement be outside, getting into my backyard and laying my yoga mat down and just absorbing vitamin D has been so beneficial, not only to my anxiety, but just my overall mental health in general. Not only am I breathing in fresh air, moving my body, but I'm also absorbing vitamin D. I created a video last week on 5 foods that you should be incorporating into your diet to help reduce anxiety that I will link above and also in the description. But in that video, I talk a little bit about the important role that vitamin D plays in mental health. So the third item on my list of self-care acts when you have anxiety is to identify and rationalize our thoughts. When we have a negative thought, I don't know about you, but I know for myself, it's really easy for my anxiety to grab onto that and slip down this very slippery rabbit hole. When you start to feel anxiety, take a minute if you can to ask yourself why you're feeling that way and decide whether or not it's rational. Are you anxious about something that's completely out of your control? Are you possibly reliving a situation from your past that caused you shame and embarrassment? Is the thought serving you? If it's not, try to let it go. Journaling can be a really helpful tool in this. It allows you a visual representation of what's going on in your head. Let me know in the comments below. Does that happen to you? Do you kind of like start with one thought and then end up spiraling down a rabbit hole of anxious thoughts, or is that just me? The fourth item on my list is to breathe. We have 2 different breathing patterns. The first is chest breathing, and the second is belly breathing, or from your diaphragm. When we experience anxiety, most of us switch to chest breathing without even realizing it. Chest breathing can cause an upset in oxygen and carbon dioxide levels within the body and create a whole host of unpleasant symptoms like dizziness, increased heart rate, muscle tension, and a lot of other unpleasant physical sensations. Taking time out of our day every day to focus on the breath can significantly help to reduce our anxiety levels. When it comes to my own story and my own experience with anxiety, I remember being frustrated with breath work in the beginning because when you're in the thick of a panic attack and you're new to breath work, it doesn't really work. I didn't realize that breath work actually took practice. It took me a long time to really be able to, in the moment when I'm having anxiety, know what it feels like in my body to breathe properly and to give myself that time. And to be honest, I'm still working on it. A long time ago, I had a counselor recommend blowing bubbles when I was having a panic attack. And while it took a little bit of time for me to get over the embarrassment of being the girl that was carrying bubbles around in her purse and having to step out to blow bubbles, I found out pretty quickly that it actually worked. The process of blowing bubbles requires a slow exhale, which it forces you to regulate your breathing patterns. And then also just the act of seeing bubbles coming out, for me, was a really great distraction from the physical symptoms that I was experiencing in that moment. If you're new to incorporating breath work or breathing exercises, this is something that I would highly recommend. So the final thing on my list is to drink enough water. Dehydration is the most common nutrient deficiency in America. We live in a culture that overconsumes diuretics like soda, coffee, and alcohol, and underconsumes pure water and water-rich foods like vegetables and fruits. Mild dehydration symptoms include fatigue, anxiety, depression, cramps, and headaches. I haven't personally found any studies to back this up, but personally, I also feel like the actual act of drinking water helps to slow and regulate breathing patterns. When I was 14 and I had just started having my first panic attacks, before I even knew what they were or had a name for what I was experiencing, I discovered pretty quickly that drinking water really helped to alleviate these weird symptoms that I was experiencing. Without even realizing it, I was intuitively listening to my body and honoring what it was asking for in that moment to help improve my symptoms. There you have it, my friends. 5 self-care acts that you should be doing if you have anxiety. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family if you think that they will get value out of it, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you next week.